You're listening to Shoe In, covering the ins and outs of all things footwear, from sneakers to heels, loafers to slippers, and every type of shoe in between. Brought to you by the FDRA, the Footwear Industries Association focused on retail, trade, politics, and fashion, helping create and enhance conversations on all things footwear. And now your footwear insiders, Matt Priest and Andy Polk.
Hello, our loyal Shoe-In listeners. Welcome to the podcast today, and let us wish you a Happy New Year.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. I like it. It's exciting. Way to go, Thomas.
May there be champagne bubbles and balloons falling on your head tonight.
Jasmine, what's up?
Happy 2019, guys.
Oh, my gosh. It's hard to believe.
Yeah,
2019.
It's a big year. It's our 75th year.
Yes. Very exciting. I'm glad I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be fun. This will be a lot of fun.
New logo, right? New logo this year.
New logo's
Yep.
coming.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All things are new.
All things are new.
All things are new. We're
Yep.
75. We should be creaking along, but we're running full speed.
Exactly.
And nice shoes.
Beautiful new shoes.
So what are you guys doing for New Year's? What are the plans?
Thomas, what are you doing?
Because I can tell you from the start, I will be on the couch.
You'll be on the couch.
Sounds like a good. Yeah,
I'll
that
be on
sounds
the
like a good
couch.
plan.
I am not myself. In my younger years, I enjoyed going out, but now I'll leave amateur hour to the amateurs. That's true. And stay away from chaos that might ensue.
Well, as an amateur, I will be partying as
Yes.
usual.
Nice. Someone's got to do it on Team FDRA, and the rest of us won't.
Let me know how it went.
It's
Let me know how it
my
went.
excuse to wear a glittery dress and like 6-inch heels, so you take your opportunities.
That's
That's
right.
just a Tuesday night for me, Jasmine. I don't know about you.
But yeah, it'll either be in my home or I'll go out. But I'm thinking about doing it at my house and forcing everybody to dress up.
It's
just
always fun to
come
do
my
a house
apartment.
party on New Year's.
That is fun.
Yeah.
It
That
is
is fun.
It's nice to have
Safer.
people over and hang out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go to like the Trader Joe's and get all the frozen stuff and throw it in the...
No.
$6 wine.
Cooking. No. You have to cook.
You have to
Absolutely.
cook?
Yeah, you have to start it off right. No
Well, I know
frozen food.
on New Year's Day you have to have greens and you have to have
Black-eyed peas.
black-eyed peas.
Yes.
Beans.
Yeah, black-eyed beans. Well,
Black-eyed
we,
beans?
Well, we eat bean soup as like a form of good luck, just like black-eyed peas.
I'm
So
sure
we
it's
do
not
both.
good luck for anyone around the table after you have said soup.
It's delicious. I promise you'll be all right.
All right, that's good. Well, I didn't know this, but my family, my wife grew up banging pots and pans at midnight.
We did too,
Ooh,
actually.
fun.
So we started doing
Yeah.
that like idiots in our neighborhood. But
Wow.
Oh,
The
that's
Clampets
fun.
come to town.
pretty much.
Yeehaw!
Pretty
I'm
much.
doing
Hey,
that.
Paul, I don't
I'm
have any.
good.
I guess they would have shot off shotgun shells. They
That's
didn't have any
right.
shotguns around
No
their house.
fireworks, right?
Bang the pots.
I love excuses to be obnoxious, so that's
You-
fun.
really? You
I
do?
Yeah, because I'm not that way.
You're right.
So
Obnoxious.
please.
if I find a way, whatever, Andy. If I find a way, I'm taking it.
Yeah, that's smart. That's fashionable.
Oh, so
Yeah.
as we lead into the new year, we thought we've been doing a series of episodes on kind of trends from the last year leading into the new year. And as our fashion expert, in-house expert, Jasmine, is kind of leading off this episode because we want to look at what were some of the key trends we saw in 2018 in footwear. So athletic shoes, fashion shoes, any slippers. I don't know. I mean, what in your mind?
Microwavable slippers.
What in your mind, just off the top of your head, were some of the key trends this year?
Let's fire up our
styles.
music. I like our music. Let's just play it for like
The whole
20
time.
minutes straight.
Well, of course, everyone knows the dad sneaker was
Okay.
in, like, everybody incorporated that one.
The
Wearing some right now.
disruptor, the Fila
Yeah,
disruptor.
that
and the
chunky style of shoe.
Balenciaga and the-
Yep. I think that was like the key. And then like switching up like the materials that you have on your upper. So not just doing one thing, but doing like multi materials and colors. And it's just like, it's not one type of upper. But at the same time, monochromatic sneakers were into. I have some of them myself. So I don't know. It's kind of like a little bit of everything, but those two are definitely like popular.
Andy, do you have ugly dad shoes?
I'm wearing them right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And they look great on you.
That's right. Thank you
I
very
wasn't
much.
really sure what shoe I would have saw you in that. That's
Well,
a dad
I heard
sneaker,
chunky, and I
but-
thought that seems to fit my whole body style, so I just hopped right on them.
But those look good. You have a pair of Fila.
I feel bad for New Balance because it's basically stealing all their thunder from all the 30s and 40s chunky men wearing.
Remember the ad
Really?
they had on Saturday Night Live?
Oh, that's
with
it.
Zach
Zach
Galifianakis?
Galifianakis.
Yeah.
They
It was
should
a whole
they should
theme about-
redo that.
Yeah.
now,
They
right?
should. It
was a
Hold
whole.
on. Yeah, put me up to speed.
So it was a whole theme on these guys were wearing like the basic New Balance sneakers. Were all like 30-something white dudes
Wearing
who-
khakis,
Wearing
wearing fanny
khakis.
packs.
It was pretty funny. It was
Oh,
a good one.
I
Who
wanna
was the
see
cast
that.
then? Like what? I'm trying to remember when
That was only a couple years ago. Because I remember talking to the New Balance guys about how they lined it up and they loved it. Obviously, it's
Yeah,
part of their
it was good
motif.
for them. But now this has happened, and I think the funniest thing about the clunky, chunky sneaker, whatever it is you got people battling over who created this.
Yep, yep.
So you got Skechers saying that they were the first ones that ever created this kind of clunky, chunky sneaker. And then you got Fila, I don't think cares. They're selling out, so they don't care.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah, but I think it's funny that people are battling over who had this kind of.
in 2019,
Yeah.
2018, 2019.
I mean,
that's
it's
the
kind
debate,
of a
right?
flip on an orthopedic shoe. I think those brands deserve it. I know, like, my grandpa had shoes that look like
Right.
this. Like, I mean, yes, it's a very stylish flip on it, but for me, that's my first time seeing a shoe like this.
Yeah.
Now, Thomas, when this airs, you will probably be in the ranks of actually being an ugly dad.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
Yeah, so I need to get some dad shoes.
You're an ugly dad in my heart already. I've always considered you an ugly dad.
Thank you, Andy.
We're taking out the ugly part, Thomas, and we're
Oh,
just it's a
I can at least get some
Yes.
ugly dad shoes.
Yeah.
Right? That's my goal for 2019.
that'll be your New Year's resolution.
So-
It might be a little. You might need the extra padding for comfort.
That's
so.
right.
Yeah, your New Year's resolutions. Get ugly dad shoes. And then secondly, make sure you feed and bathe this new human being that you're responsible for.
As on behalf of the Ugly Dad Association, you are now the treasurer.
Thank you.
You control all the funds. So, yeah.
So that's the first thing I'm going to do is buy some ugly dad shoes.
Exactly.
What about like basketball sneakers and kind of?
I feel like the real
Out.
the real athletic shoe is just kind of out. I will say that LeBron sneakers for 2018 were really, really nice. They were really elaborate, definitely same silhouette and ankle support as like you would need if you're playing on a basketball court, but the designs were crazy, very elaborate, very royal looking.
Well,
and-
now they're purple,
Royalty.
purple and yellow, right? Because he's with
Yeah.
the Lake Show. So, I mean,
I'm
you had to
interested
pick
to
those
see
up.
what he comes
All
up
hail
with. Yeah.
King James.
I love how he's like, I don't know, how old he's 31. They're like, he's a 16-year veteran. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's been in the league forever.
Started
Yeah.
young, though.
He started really young.
Long may he reign.
I think collaborations though are definitely like
Those
the
are
biggest
in like
thing.
crazy.
I mean,
We were at the Footwear News Awards, and there was a collaboration of the year was the Reebok collaboration.
yeah.
Who was I'm not
Pierre
familiar.
Moss?
Yes,
But
tell me
he's-
who he is and what that collaboration was.
Well, he's more fashion and apparel based,
Okay.
so that was like an interesting collaboration to bring somebody who you don't think does shoes
Right.
and like totally gives you something that
That'd be like
is-
me next year.
Yeah.
They should give me the award then. I totally don't do shoes.
We're
but I
waiting for
could.
barbecue shoes, man. That's the collaboration.
And his collaboration was very interesting because it really had like every piece of it was different. At the bottom, it was very rigid and bulky, but then at the top looks like a regular running sneaker that you would get, like a regular like Nike sneaker that you would run track in. The shoelaces start at the very tip of the shoe, just very different.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think
So like stood out.
I think when you get someone who hasn't been in the shoe world for so long, and then you pull them into that space, they don't see any boundaries, and
Yeah.
I think that's how he kind of came up with that design. Versus somebody who sees the same thing all the time,
Right.
you know, and feels constrained.
The two collabs I'm really interested in is the Fear of God Nike collaboration that comes
Yeah.
out here really soon. Those shoes look awesome.
Awesome.
And I don't even know who Post Malone is, but the
And
Crocs
Crocs.
collabs have been hot apparently. So
Yeah, I
educate
mean,
us, Jasmine.
Crocs even had had like a heel collaboration. I can't even remember who. It's a high-end designer, if I'm not mistaken. But like seeing like a Crocs heel is definitely like what? Like
Wiggity wag.
it's same thing like Uggs in their thigh-high boots. They had I think the brand is called Project Y. If I'm not mistaken, they had a collaboration with them, and it's like you see, like you're used to the Uggs either being like ankle length or like a slide-in shoe, but never all the way up your thigh. This big,
Crazy.
boot.
I'm 6'4", so I need like a really tall one.
So,
they might reach up there. To be honest.
What's the Post Malone? What's the claim to fame there?
Post
More
Malone's a
tattoos on his
rapper.
face.
See the
than
guy
any
that's
painter
got
in
all the
world.
face tattoos.
Yeah.
And
He
such-
does
It's like
have
the Mummy.
mistake.
Remember that movie, The Mummy, with all the
Yeah.
stuff on their face?
Do you remember when Mike Tyson did the face tattoo and everyone's like, what a gigantic mistake? And now a
It's
lot
popular.
of people have
Right.
face
Yeah.
tattoos. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm not into that. That's
No.
a little crazy.
No.
But yeah, he turned the Crocs into not so nice shoe, but a little truckerish. So it looks a little dirty, but
Yeah,
not really.
Like his
kind of
hair.
situation. Yeah, they say he smells great though, so that's a good thing.
Who's
He might
they,
be
Jazz? Who are you talking
The
to?
internet. The internet.
interviewers. I've heard
the
that.
collaborators.
You smell delightful. You look dirty, but you smell amazing.
Pantene Pro V? I thought
I'm just as shocked
That
as you
counts.
What about
are. People say
what about one of the trends this year of fooling influencers like Payless?
Oh, Palessi.
That was
Yeah.
my what you're gonna get, the Bruno Palessis.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Bruno Palessi.
Bruno Palessis.
the best.
Tutte bene.
The best is when the guy's like, you could tell this is made with high quality materials.
Yes,
He's holding this
exactly.
Payless shit.
Yeah. Great
Exactly.
idea though. That was
That was
really
awesome.
Clever. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about fashion, Jasmine? Like, what were some trends? Were heels in? Were flats in? Or
I think sneakers are still ruling the world.
Right.
And FYI, just a fact check, it was Balenciaga and Crocs collaboration that did the heels, and they actually look kind of fun.
Remember the Fendi Fila collab?
Yes,
Man, there's
that's
all kinds of
awesome.
weird collabs going.
Yeah. I love Fendi. Fendi did like a huge marketing campaign where like one day I got on Instagram and literally every person you've seen had Fendi head to toe, scarf, shirt, top, like everything, like Fendi, everything. So
I love collabs.
using influencers is definitely like what's going on now.
Yeah, it's amazing how that's come up. I mean, in 2018, 2019, that's such a big thing. I mean, even the Payless. I mean, that was all the whole
Yeah.
marketing idea was dependent on
Right.
influencers, right, to come out and
I liken it to the real world. And here's
which
where
one? Los
No,
Angeles,
just
New
wait.
York?
I'll take you down the
All
tunnel.
right, I'm
Oh,
ready.
I'll take you down my dark path.
I'm ready.
So all of a sudden, MTV wants to come on the scene and like start doing more than just music videos. They don't have any money to really make content, so they just make original content of people interacting in a real way, even though they're giving them booze.
Yeah.
And kind of ginning them up and getting them to fight, like
Yeah.
Pedro and Puck.
Oh, man.
Pedro v Puck.
That's OG real world. Yeah.
That was the best real world
Yeah.
ever.
Season 2.
So, yeah,
That
LA.
was in season 2.
Pedro
yeah.
v Puck.
And there, who's that? John was the cowboy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they do this and they have no money, and then so they do this. They spend a small amount and they get a huge return. It becomes, it basically turns into reality television.
I mean, they
the first
started it
generation,
off.
right?
Yeah.
So it's in the same way, people are looking at how much money should I spend on a celebrity, and then what's the return? And the returns aren't that great anymore, like they used to be. I don't think. So they're turning to people who have these social media accounts that have
Yep.
a large amount of followers, give them a small sum, and probably get greater returns doing
Off we
that.
go.
Yeah.
So I think there's a reason why they're doing it, and
I think it's just being organic though, because like I know I think Nike had a collaboration with Travis Scott, and honestly, like Travis Scott makes great music, but I'm not looking at his clothes, and I don't think a lot of people are saying like, oh, what is Travis Scott wearing? Like,
Don't care.
Yeah, like I mean, there's certain people. I think it's all about just staying organic. Like if that person really already is like a part of your brand almost, or like already uses your products, or people really look at them for style. But I think just throwing somebody in there with high numbers on social media doesn't really convert into dollar signs.
It's just another
Like,
form of product placement. Like it's
Yeah.
just gratuitous when you see like the Transformer movie. And the guy, Mark Wahlberg, hoses up a Coke and it's like, ding,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's like,
Jasmine, what is
who
your
cares?
fee as an influencer? What are
My
you
fee?
charging?
$500 a post. Sounds
Air
about
Jordans,
good.
free
Yeah.
Air Jordans
And
for
product.
life.
That's really low, but I'm affordable, guys. You can email me.
But I think
Pendergrass.
it works though, right? I mean, people look on Instagram or whatever.
Oh,
They're like, I'm gonna
absolutely.
go buy these shoes because this person has just holding them up on Instagram.
Absolutely. I mean, I've definitely made purchases from skincare to hair to footwear from influencers
And that was
I
just
watch on
all what
YouTube.
Post Malone was telling you, right? Especially the hair.
Or Polk Malone too. I'm available for $499, $1 less than Jasmine. And I have just as many fake followers from
Marketing
Ukraine.
tactics.
Russian hacker followers.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's happening.
What about as you look in 2019 and you see all these trends happening? Are we seeing continuation, or are we going to see? Let's talk about like material types and styles. What do you think is going to be big? And
Well, first, I think that women only shoes are going to be a thing. Like women only sneakers. Like I feel like a lot of the times I get frustrated because I've always been into sneakers, especially Jordans. Like I've always had a beef with them, and like I would go like online when the release date came and didn't realize that they didn't make anything for women's, and like my foot's small enough for boys, so I'll check in that area. But if I was a woman who had like an adult size foot, because I feel like my foot is like a kid, I couldn't purchase any sneakers. And I just think like people are starting to recognize that we like sneakers too, and we're like the biggest consumers. So why wouldn't you make sneakers for us? That makes no sense.
shoes. Me too.
I totally agree with you. I've been on the Nike sneaker app from time to time recently. I'm like,
Yeah.
that shoe is awesome.
Yeah.
I want it, and then I click it, and it's women's only.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
So
it's
now I
happening.
feel your pain.
Now you feel a little
Now
bit
I
about what it
understand.
takes to be
I
us,
actually have
man.
a girl that I was following on social media. She's just on a reality TV show, and that's her right there. That's crazy.
I'm showing. I'm
sorry. Yes, listen.
All for
I
One
just had a
Women's Air Force
moment,
One
like,
Sage
yeah.
High.
Because
Check
we were
it.
just talking about influencers, and she's not that like popular, but it's funny that they used her out of all people. But if you see her on Instagram, she's very fashionable. She's one of the members of the Black Ink Chicago crew or something like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I can't even think of her name right now, but she's beautiful and she has great style. Ah, man.
Call me, girl.
But yeah, I think that's definitely what's going to be trending. I mean, you've seen, there was a couple of collaborations that came out that were exclusively for women, but I think it's going to start to bulk up for sure. Which is going to kind of make me sad a little bit because it's always been easy to get shoes if they came out in boy size. So
Don't cry.
Might be,
Dry your eyes.
yeah, but I would like the recognition that we do buy a lot, so make stuff for us.
What kind of recognition you want? What are we going for?
Well, I'm saying
A medal?
no,
Free pair of
not-
shoes?
Oh, okay, yeah.
A
free
slap
pair
on the
of
back?
shoes, Yes.
A high five? Fist bump? What do you want, Jasmine?
Yes, all of that and above.
What? Okay, so as we close it out, New Year's resolutions. Anyone got them?
I have a weird one. Not
Bring
to
it.
use the microwave.
Not to use the microwave?
yeah.
Wow,
Stove
that's
instead?
a huge resolution.
Does that
Yeah.
mean no like frozen foods or something? Is that why you're
I'm
saying
trying
that?
to like just exclusively cook on the stove. I have a skillet. Like, I don't know. I just kind of want to get rid of the microwave. I just feel
Interesting.
like it's weird.
Well, you should unplug it and put it outside on the front porch.
I can't do that, but
You're not committed to This will go for like a day. January
I've-
2nd, back
I've
to the
already
microwave.
been working on it. No, I'm gonna stay
Look at
strong.
you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I
Stay
started in
strong.
December.
What about you, Andrew?
I'm gonna try not to use the microwave. Me and resolutions. I don't know. I never really make too many resolutions about things. I think I'm gonna try to get off my phone more.
Smart.
So I think we're really busy. Everybody's busy, and we
Yeah.
try really hard to respond to people in a timely manner. But that doesn't mean 2 minutes response. I think people are always wowed by that.
Right.
So my goal is when I get home to kind of cut off the phone for a couple hours and enjoy my family, and then
That's smart.
pick it back up after hours. After hours, yeah.
Thomas.
I would say I'm going to try to run more. I think I said that. I don't know if I said that last year or not, but
Yeah.
I did buy some new Brooks running shoes.
Good
I'm going
job.
to test them out.
They're sharp.
This
I like
month
them.
in January, and that's my New Year's resolution.
I love it. Awesome.
How about you, Matt?
You know, I got to consume less. I'm a consumer, and money burns a hole in my pocket. And So and
I got a
from
pair
now
of
on,
shoes to sell you if you got a.
in order to keep up with my shoe intake quota, people just need to send me free shoes because then that'll help sustain me.
And I will say this: I just literally cleaned out my closet, and I took old shoes, and I'm donating them to Souls for Souls
Good job.
to clean it out. I'm probably getting some new shoes for I just got some new shoes for the holiday season. Maybe get some more in January, but every time I clean out my stuff, and my rule is this: if I haven't worn it in 4 to 5 months, it needs to go.
That's
So
perfect.
somebody who actually needs it and will wear them.
Yeah.
There's no reason to keep hold of it. Same with clothes. I try
Yeah.
to clean that out pretty often. So if you go to Souls for Souls, just Google Souls for Souls.
Yep.
You can click on there, and they will give you a free mailing slip to mail those
Courtesy
shoes
of
to them.
Zappos.
Courtesy of Zappos.
Yep.
So don't just throw them out, but think about that. I mean, we should all think about that. If you're not using your shoes, I mean, it's one thing if you're a sneakerhead and you collect them and you love them and you look at them. I don't know what they do, but
Caress them.
yeah, exactly. Lust after them. They're idols. But if you're not using them, then give them to somebody who actually will. You can
Yeah.
always get more shoes. Some people can't get more shoes.
That's a great point.
All right.
And on
Happy
that,
New Year, people.
Happy New Year to all of my lovely coworkers.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
We love you.
I'm excited about 2019.
Me too.
High fives. Have fun, folks, but be safe.
Shoe In has been brought to you by the FDRA, the Footwear Industries Association focused on retail, trade, politics, and fashion, helping create and enhance conversations on all things footwear. For information about FDRA, visit fdra.org.